Day 29. I'm in an urban park with lots of ducks swimming around behind me. Chapter 16. Out of the wind and into the fire. Eco 3 of the 12th lunar cycle passed mid-dark. "Dive!" Min shouted, bewildered by her own involuntary instruction. "Sorry, Radiant, do you agree?" He nodded urgently. Fitlin scrambled, swinging his body weight up through the feather shafts like a gymnast to give Otlin Min's directions. "Hold on, Glins," Otlin hooted. They each grabbed a feather shaft as Otlin put his head down, folded his wings back against his body, and dropped like a hurtling meteorite towards the black tops of the forest emerging below them. His outer feathers, compressed with the rush of the dive, offered Min glimpses to the outside. What she saw was petrifying. A snare-shaped mouth filled with flame-spouting lava and surrounded by acrid, billowing smoke shot trails of incandescent embers towards Otlin's diving body. On either side of the mouth, arm-like twists of dense smoke snaked towards them, each capped with a cauldron of molten magma. Every swirl supported dozens more. The twists began to coil into spirals, whipping coals into flames, then releasing them at high speed like volcanic bombs. One shot past Otlin on his right, another a mere leaf length over his head, and a third past his tail feathers. The reek of singed feathers filled the Glin's nostrils. Min put her head in her hands and concentrated. "Fitlin, tell Otlin to level out now and then do a 180-degree turn, fly head-on towards the Emberest. At the last moment, do a steep dive underneath it. With good flying and a bit of luck, it'll be confused and overshoot." Fitlin shouted the relayed message into the great Megal's ear, adding, "Impressive plan, Min, but it's unlikely to miss next time. We must put on Shine's camouflage blanket. Grab a shaft, everyone. Otlin's turning." Otlin dipped his wings and swung around in a tight curve. Min had a brief glance through the feathers. They headed towards the boiling lava in the Ember's yawning mouth. She drew in a sharp breath through her teeth and pleaded, "Please let us live. I don't want to burn. I want to see my mums and Blader and Prinny again. I want my tree." She could hear nothing over the roaring of the hurtling cannonballs except for the thumping of her heart. Just as they were about to fly into the fire pit, Otlin dipped his head, executed 2 great wing thrusts, and dived directly beneath the Emberest and its deadly firepower. "Quick, Min," Fitlin called. "Give us the blanket." Min shrugged off the light pack she'd been wearing and extracted the blanket. "Luster, can you light yourself again? We need to each find a corner. As soon as Fitlin and I have secured them onto a couple of neck feather shafts, Radian, you and Luster can pull the other corners to his tail feathers. As long as we grip tight to the corners, we should be safe," she shouted. "Barring Scurralones and Emberists, of course," Radian replied. "Too droll, Radian," Fitlin grinned. "Have we all got a corner? Let's go," Min panted. They followed each other along Fitlin's now well-worn path towards Otlin's ear. The Emberist had regrouped and turned around to pursue them once more. They could see its fiery mouths still a way off, but closing in fast. Min's wings were thrumming. She put her hands to her ears to concentrate. "Okay, Otlin has to level out and fly up a little, or we won't be able to get the blanket to cover him against the downward force of the wind. When it's in place, he needs to dive into the canopy of this forest and navigate through the branches," she shouted. "How in the great orb did I work that out?" she quizzed herself. "I haven't got a clue about wind and gravity and stuff like that." "Looks like you do now," Min could have sworn she heard Flick chortle. Fitlin looked impressed. "I like your thinking, Min," he said, passing on the instruction. As soon as Otlin was flying level, Fitlin and Min secured the blanket to a shaft on either side of his tufted ears. Radian and Luster dragged the blanket over themselves and Otlin's feathers. It would have been impossible had he still been in a dive. The Emberist was closing in. "The blanket's secure. Fitlin, tell Otlin to dive towards the canopy," Min shouted, pulling back on the blanket with all her strength as they whistled through the leaves, Otlin deftly weaving through the top branches of the forest. The Emberist was still hard on their tail, its flaming jets flailing through the branches, although it seemed disorientated, as if unsure of its choice of direction. "Is it confused by what looks like another Emberist?" Min called out. "Let's hope so," Luster said, holding her hands together as if in supplication. "Well, look at that." We have some allies, Fitlin shouted from his position next to Otlin's ear tuft. Min sneaked a peek from underneath the blanket. The branches they had flown through appeared to be swatting at the Magna missiles shooting every which way. The branches were skillful batters. One limb thwacked a scorching projectile straight back at the Emberist, scoring a direct hit. A thick twist of the Emberist tore in two and evaporated as its own flame bomb struck home. Yes, Luster punched the air. Take that, fire demon. The Emberist's mouth opened wide, embers storming from its lips. It whirled, drawing in on itself, twists of smoke hissing all around it. Is it confused or in pain? Luster asked. It looks like it's retreating. Min's wings were pulsing again. We're not out of danger yet, she warned. She stared back through the branches. Grey smoke swirled in the distance, making it difficult to discern movement. For the moment, she could see no indication of the Emberist regathering. She realized that incredibly none of the trees they'd been flying through had caught alight. Radian, what are you feeling? Are you getting anything? Nothing specific. My wings are jumpy, though. Min covered her ear with her hands and concentrated. Every muscle in her body quivered with fatigue. Flutter was especially distressed. Min could feel it. What is it, Flutter? Are we still in danger? Otlin's flying had become less certain, even erratic. Branches he deftly avoided moments before now swished past dangerously close. Of course, Min cried. It's Otlin. He's not just exhausted. He's wounded. See you under the trees tomorrow.